And then we'll be going north to Hampden to concentrate on the Coca-Cola Cup final between Aberdeen and Dundee. This at the moment, bottom to top, a point for Falkirk at the weekend. They got a 1-1 at Motherwell, so they've got 12 from their 15 played now. Kilmarnock with a game in hand, just outside the bottom two, Partick, and then Motherwell, runners-up last season, of course. They're having a torrid time this time around, aren't they? Why is that, Charlie? Well,
they've been struggling to score goals, to be quite honest. They haven't really looked the same side of the last two seasons. I think Alec McLeish, although there's pressure building, not in his job, but just in the way that Motherwell are performing, really probably is looking for the goals to start going in for him. He really needs goals. And if he gets them, I think they'll start climbing quite quickly. And it's Hearts, Aberdeen, Raith Rovers 4th. How about that, Jimmy Nicholl and Raith, who a year ago, of course, were involved in this final this afternoon. They beat Celtic, Hibs, Celtic and Rangers, the top three. This time it's Aberdeen against Dundee. If you're up with your current affairs, you'll know there's a postal strike, or has been in Scotland. I think it's on the verge of being settled, but there's a lot of tickets caught up in backlogs at post offices around the country. They were all sold, Charlie, but it may be that one or two people don't get there this afternoon, which would be a cruel blow, wouldn't it? Yep, it's been 5 days for this postal strike to take care of itself, and a lot of these people, especially from Aberdeen, as far north, will find it difficult. I think the SFA have been saying all week that if they don't get their tickets in time, they'll refund them, but they're going to miss the match.
That's no good. You want to be there, don't you?
It's a big opportunity. 5 years since Aberdeen supporters have sampled. There's the sheep, famous sheep of the north. I believe you've been seen out with a few of them.
You can't say that. It's Aberdeen against Dundee. Coca-Cola Cup final this afternoon, coming up live. But let's have another look at play ball first of all. It's Arsenal against Blackburn Rovers from Highbury, 2-3 seasons back. Alan Shearer on the ball. Where's it going? A, B or C? A is a goal. B is a goal. C is wide. A, B or C? £200, remember the top prize. The lines are open now. It's the usual telephone number, 0891 700 550. 0891 700 550. £200 top prize and Sky Sports T-shirts for the runners-up. Hampden Park this afternoon, Aberdeen against Dundee, and I must say I'm really looking forward to this now. Wasn't the best affair from Highbury, so it's nice to have the opportunity to put it right. Aberdeen against Dundee for silverware, the Coca-Cola Cup coming up. And of course, there's a place in Europe at stake as well. Should be a full house at Hampden, should be a good afternoon. Aberdeen against Dundee comes up live from Sky Sports here on Super Sunday next. Hampden Park this afternoon, live, the Coca-Cola Cup final from Sky Sports. Aberdeen against Dundee. And are we looking forward to that now? The head-to-head is the first major cup final that the two have confronted each other in. League Cup meetings, 15 down the years. Aberdeen, as you can see, have won 7, Dundee 4, and 4 have been drawn. And let's just make a note at this point that it would go to extra time if required today, and there would be penalties to follow if we still couldn't separate them. Aberdeen are 5-2 on to win it, Dundee 7-4. Our guests are Alan Smith, the former Arsenal striker, and Charlie Nicholas, and also Andy Gray when he gets back with us from Highbury. In the meantime, it's the Coca-Cola Cup final that we're concentrating on. Our cup story starts, in fact, with last season's final when the underdogs drew first blood. Steve Crawford put Raith in front. But it didn't take long for Celtic to hit back.
Here's Boyd again. Showing his amazing stamina and running power already, Boyd. Another chance on this time, must be the equaliser! Walker! And tapped in by Charlie Nicholas!
Celtic with a 2-1 lead and only 4 minutes left. But Gordon DL got a late equaliser. And they were still level after extra time. There was no separating them in the penalty shootout either until sudden death. Jason Robotham scored for Wraith. Paul McStay had to do the same.
Unthinkable, surely, for the skipper to miss. Wraith Rovers have won the Coca-Cola Cup!
Jimmy Nichols' team were the first side from outside the top division to win the trophy in 47 years, and of course they earned themselves a UEFA Cup place. Celtic had their revenge this season, knocking them out in the third round, setting up a fourth round tie against Rangers and Paul Gascoigne.
Gascoigne, great chance there, it's in, it's a goal for Rangers, scored by McCoist.
That goal settled it. Aberdeen faced Motherwell in the fourth round and had to come from behind. Dougie Arnott scoring the opener. Billy Dodds equalised, sending the tie into extra time. John Ingalls was the unlikely hero for Aberdeen when he got a late winner. Dundee's fourth round tie was an extraordinary affair. They were 2-0 up inside 38 minutes. George Shaw got them both. Dave McPherson pulled one back for Hearts in the second half. John Cahoon levelled the tie at 2-2. Some sloppy defending cost them at the other end. This was a terrible mix-up. Paul Tosh gifted a goal for Dundee. But it wasn't over yet. With Dundee looking set for the win, Alan Lawrence stole in to send the tie into extra time. Dundee took the lead for the third time with the goal of the tie from Morten Vikhorst. It would have been a worthy winner, but Hearts came back again. Neil Duffy was penalised for a push on Lawrence. John Robertson's penalty made it 4-4. So penalties again, and that proved to be equally dramatic when Willie Jameson hit the post. Dundee's Vikhorst put them into the semi-finals. And the draw for the semis provided a smile or two.
Rangers. Number 2. We play Aberdeen.
The two remaining Premier Division teams faced each other at Hampden Park on a windswept night, and there was no doubt who the hero was.
Dodds, still Billy Dodds. He scored! A brilliant goal by Dodds! Here's Cook. Bernard. Glass with the outswing cross. Billy Dodds! 2-0 to Aberdeen.
Rangers pulled one back, but the Dons were in their first League Cup final for 3 years. Airdrie were Dundee's semi-final opponents.
Good running by McQueen and a fine cross. Which is Tosh. Dundee take the lead, it's Paul Tosh.
Airdrie equalised late in the second half through Peter Duffield, and Dundee looked like they were heading for extra time again, but with only 2 minutes left, they booked their place in the final.
Goes for Shaw, this is McCann, a chance on here for Dundee. Delicate should be scored, and a brilliant goal! Neil McCann for Dundee!
Dundee have had a terrific run in the Cup this year. Jim Duffy believes this is their year. Roy Aitken, in his first year in charge, won't want a repeat of last year's final. Yes, this is how Aberdeen made it through to the Coca-Cola Cup final, beat St Mirren, Falkirk, Motherwell after extra time, and then the big one in the semi-final, Rangers, 2-1, 2 goals from Billy Dodds. And Dundee of the First Division beat East Stirling 6-0, Kilmarnock 3-1, came past Hearts in that extraordinary game, eventually on penalties, and then Airdrie 2-1 in their semi-final. David Provin has been speaking to both managers. First of all, Jim Duffy, who was wondering about Jim and his players who don't often get a chance to go to Hampden, so would they be a little nervous?
I think when you see the reception you get outside with the supporters, Davey, I think it's hit at home to the players that this is a major cup final and a major occasion. I think there's a little bit of nerves going now.
Well, it's Jim Duffy's first major cup final as well. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel okay at the moment. You know, I think as the match approaches in the next hour, I'll certainly, I'm sure I'll show some nerves, but at the moment I feel fine.
Is the game plan still to come here and have a real go at Aberdeen?
Yeah, I mean, we've done all our build-up work, all our leading-up work, and the players know what's expected. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed to go and produce the goods.
Be very happy with the overall preparation this week. I feel as if we've built into it nicely, you know, and had a little chat with them over the last couple of days, in particular individually, and I feel as if they're ready for the occasion, yep.
We understand that this morning both Ian Jess and Scott Booth had fitness problems. What's the news on them?
Yes, well, unfortunately, Scott Booth has missed out today with a thigh strain, but Jess is 100% fit. So really, it's only Scott and Theo Snerders who has got a back problem that are missing from today's lineup.
Without giving too much away, what will you be saying to the players just before they go out?
Just basically to go and enjoy themselves and give it their best. I mean, they played really well against Motherwell in the quarter-final and Rangers out here in the semi-final. And if they can match that sort of form, then we'll win the Cup.
What would it mean to you to win the Cup today, because Aberdeen haven't won a trophy for 5 years?
Well, it'd be a major step forward for the club in general. Obviously, I'm in the process of rebuilding the club, and it's a case of getting challenged in all competitions. It's an important game because it's the final of the first major competition, and it would definitely help us along the way.
Thanks, Roy. Enjoy the match.
Thank you.
Well, we were getting reports, Charlie, that Scott Booth would or might not make it. He doesn't. Now, that's obviously a huge personal blow for him, but how much of a blow for Aberdeen?
I would say a big blow, because he's on form, he's scoring goals. He's had a few little injury problem, and when he's been out, they've really missed him. Shearer, who can come in, does score goals, but Booth has got the pace, he's good in the air. You know, he is a guy who's very prominent now for Aberdeen. Duncan Shearer, who does come in fact, to replace him, has scored some goals in his time, Alan, up and down the country, also in Scotland. So I suppose if you're losing one of quality, it's nice to be able to turn to someone like Shearer, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Duncan Shearer is one of these players who will score goals wherever he goes. He's been down in England to quite a few clubs and always scored those goals, but never really seemed to have settled at one club. Never, I think, scored a lot of goals in the top division in England, but gone back up there and really been rattling in.
He was the original Shearer, of course, at Blackburn before making the move north. And it's been a successful spell at Aberdeen for him, hasn't it?
Yeah, very successful. I mean, the crowd love him. He's really scored a lot of goals for Aberdeen, especially last year when he struggled so badly in the Premier Division. It was down to really his goals that probably just kept him up, really. So the fact he's coming in will please quite a lot of the Aberdeen support. At the same time, you know, they'll miss Booth.
You'll recognise that band straight away, I'm sure, Charlie. That's Big Country, who have been providing the pre-match entertainment at Hampden. And the song?
What song is that? I think the beauty of today's game, without the Old Firm in, is that it really is. It's going to be like a party atmosphere. People like Dundee very rarely get there. They're really going there to enjoy it.
Who's going to win it?
I think Aberdeen will win it if they play well, but I think there's going to be a lot of goals. I expect Dundee to score goals.
Alan, you've got one wrong this afternoon. Do you want to have a stab at this one?
I hope there will be a lot of goals after the earlier game. I'll go for Dundee if Charlie's going for Aberdeen.
OK, just to make it interesting. One of our commentators today is the Rangers and Scotland striker, Ali McCoist. Ali, good afternoon to you.
How are you, Richard?
We're well, thank you. Before we concentrate on this one, Ali, can I just take you back 7 days or so to your latest contribution to the Old Firm clash? A headed goal, and it was received quite well in this part of the world, I'll tell you.
He was the worst header of a ball you've ever seen in your life. Ever.
Full stop.
And that's qualified then.
Yeah, ever.
I just think his last 4 goals have been headers.
Well done, mate. You've done well.
Your old strike partner, Mark Haitley, with Andy Gray, Ali, the worst header of a ball ever. So what happened to you?
I don't actually think I was that good.
I tell you, Richard, that's a fallacy, mate. I tell you, that's an absolute fallacy. They've got it wrong about it. It was actually me that taught Mark how to head the ball. And I remember my father used to show me the black and white videos of Andy. And to be fair to Andy, Andy was quite good in there.
OK, let's concentrate on this one. What's going to happen at Hampden this afternoon? Where's your money?
Well, I'm the same as you guys. I'm really looking forward to the game. I think it's going to be a great game. I think Aberdeen will just shade it. I mean, I heard Charlie saying earlier on that he fancies Aberdeen to win it comfortably. I think they'll win it, but I think it'll be a very, very good game. I think there'll be a lot of goals in it, and I just fancy Aberdeen just to sneak it.
Obviously, you're disappointed not to be there, but I hope you enjoy the afternoon anyway, Alan.
I certainly will, Richard. Thanks.
It's Hampden Park then. That's where we're going next. A terrific atmosphere there. It's Aberdeen against Dundee, Coca-Cola Cup final, silverware and a place in the UEFA Cup estate this afternoon. And we are very much looking forward to it. Super Sunday from Sky Sports. Hampden Park is what we're concentrating on now as Aberdeen going against Dundee in the Coca-Cola Cup final. Alan Smith and Charlie Nicholas with us this afternoon in the studio. If you've just joined us, incidentally, 0-0 at Highbury, Arsenal and Blackburn. But we're looking for better fare here, Charlie. And you're on the Dons.
Yeah, I'm on the Dons to win it, but I do expect Dundee to attack them, and I think Dundee will at least score a goal, I would think.
You're on Aberdeen to win it, quite simply because they are the Premier Division team. Dundee from the first, presumably. But we remind ourselves that a year ago, Wraith Rovers provided, I would have thought, one of the biggest shocks in Scottish football history, beating Celtic in this final.
Yeah, they probably did. But in fairness, Wraith Rovers have grown stature over the last 2 seasons. But although I think Aberdeen will win today, I would like Dundee to win it because my best mate is a manager and he's playing today, James Duffy, so I would like, for personal reasons, for Dundee to win it.
Yes, you could have gone there, actually, could you not? Closely.
I could have went with James, yeah, just about a year and a half ago. Decided against it. And I'm happy enough with it. Let James go on with it.
Aberdeen, of course, on the left there. Dundee, right. Won the Dundee derby, was it last week? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, they did, yeah. Played very well.
The second place in the first.
Exciting side, Dundee. Good wingers, a lot of pace. Like to attack.
First silverware of the season. Is it going to Aberdeen without a trophy for 5 years, or is it going to Dundee? Remember, at the back end of last season, Aberdeen stayed up by the skin of their teeth. 10 years ago, they were mixing it with the best in Europe when they won the Cup Winners' Cup. There'll be some recovery under Roy Aitken if they can win this. Dundee, managed by Jim Duffy, friend of Charlie Nicholas, which is why he's got a soft spot for them. Yeah, Roy Aitken's a mate of yours as well. You've played alongside Roy, of course, haven't you?
Yeah, many years ago, but yeah, we're good friends, but me and James were brought up together, and he's never really won anything at this level, and I think it would really make his coaching credibility rise, and he's done really well there.
OK, let's go to Hampden Park then and join Ali McCoist and Rob Hawthorne.
Thank you, Richard. Well, Cup finals always bring extremes of elation and heartbreak, and there's despair today for Scott Booth, because the striker who's contributed so much with 3 goals on the path to the final is out with a calf injury. So Duncan Shearer, whose own previous appearance in this competition was a substitute, comes in to partner Billy Dodds, one of 2 former Dundee players in this team. Stuart McKimmie, the captain, is the other. Ali.
Yes, I think that's obviously a blow to Aberdeen's hopes, Scott Booth not making it. Having said that, if there was going to be a replacement with Indy, I think Duncan Shearer's the ideal replacement, because possibly Duncan Shearer's the best goal scorer they have at the club, and it won't be too much of a blow, I don't think. I think they'll go straight 4-4-3. I think Joe Miller will play. So did I say 4-4-3? I meant 4-3-3. Good start. I think Joe Miller will play wide, and he'll be supplying the goods for Shearer and Dodds.
As for the Dundee team, well, their manager Jim Duffy has decided that at 36 his knees are strong enough to withstand the playing part of his responsibilities. It's the first major final for a man who's retired once. He's in a team unchanged from the one that beat United in the Dundee derby.
That's right, Dundee will be buzzing at the moment. They had a fabulous result in the derby last week. and it's just magic to see Jim Duffy in the back four there. As Charlie was saying, it's possibly beyond his wildest dreams. Who would have thought Jim Duffy would have been captain of the team in the cup final? It's magic to see. They've got goal scorers up front in Shaw, Hamilton and Tosh. So I think, like Charlie said earlier on, I think they'll attack Dundee, and I think we'll see some goals today.
Certainly the major prediction is that there will be goals in this encounter. It's expected to be wide open. The man who will officiate is Les Mottram from Forth, who was here at Hampden only 6 months ago, officiating in the Scottish Cup final. Aberdeen in red, kicking to the left. They'll kick off. Dundee in their renowned dark blue. Great atmosphere at Hampden as the 50th Scottish League Cup final gets underway. It's a competition that over the years has been dominated by Rangers, who've won it 19 times. Celtic have won it 9, and Aberdeen, in terms of previous wins, come in joint third with Hearts. It's an early throw for the Dons, who've won this trophy on 4 previous occasions. This is McKimmie, their captain. Glass has made the early break into the box. And within the first 40 seconds, a severe test of Dundee's mettle.
Yeah, that was a great move by Aberdeen early on, and a great defensive header by Roddy Manley just in front of Duncan Shearer, I think it was. But Dundee will certainly have to watch Shearer today.
Miller's attempted cross is cleared. Eventually, Dundee have cleared their ranks. And certainly there's a fellow called Ralph Brand who'll be delighted that Duncan Shearer didn't make that ball, because the fact that Aberdeen haven't scored in the opening 30 seconds mean that he's got the quickest goal of the tournament for Brechin, which came after 24 seconds in the first round. So he's £500 the richer. Smith and Ingles. The Aberdeen goalkeeper, Michael Watt. That was the other area of doubt in the Aberdeen team, whether Theo Snelders would make it. But his back injury was not to be risked by Aberdeen's manager, Roy Aitken. George Shaw. Foul by Jess. And a free kick to Dundee, which will be taken by Morten Weghorst. It was to attack the ball. It was cleared well by Bernard. And Bernard is in there again. Clearance by Michel Pajot. And Dodds just tripped. Jess, who really could be a key figure in this final for Aberdeen. Bernard. Good run on that far side by Grant. Might come to Dodds. Verto just got a header in there. Tosh clears not too far. This is Glass. It was dipping and it wasn't too far over from Stephen Glass.
Yeah, that was a great effort. I think Stephen Glass has been one of the finds of the season so far. And I think, with all due respect, I think they keep it out of the cupboard, but it was a great effort.
Native of Dundee is Glass, but he was a United supporter as a boy, so it would have been a particularly sweet goal for him. And 6 months ago, this match could have had very different connotations when Aberdeen was staring relegation in the face. Tosh has won the corner off Glass. Aberdeen only survived relegation after a play-off with Dunfermline, but they almost played Dundee at that stage. Dunfermline only got through to the playoffs, which were for promotion from the First Division, because they were 2 goals better off than this Dundee side. Here's McCann, very promising player, already a Scottish under-21 international. came in from Manley.
Yeah, he was well up there at the corner. I think it's amazing when you said earlier on there about Aberdeen last year fighting for relegation. It's like two different sides. This year, Big Roy's got to play with full of confidence and like a different team.
Dundee, meanwhile, are still bubbling around in the First Division, battling for promotion this season. Glass. Miller. Clearance by Duffy. This is McKinney. He shaped for the shot, and Manley was strong enough to withstand it. And a little tug there on Paul Tosh.
Yeah, you can see here, he gets in front of Joe Miller, uses his body well, and Joe, I think he just clips him there. But I think that'll be one of the determining factors in the game today. I think Paul Tosh is very, very quick, and I think Dundee have got to exploit his pace.
Gary Smith, a composed defender.
Yeah, I think so. I think Gary Smith, I must admit, I'm a big fan of Gary Smith. I think he's a very, very underrated player. And in all honesty, I think he'll be involved in the Scotland setup in the near future. I think he's a good player.
First 5 minutes gone and no score. But Jim Duffy, the Dundee manager, felt that the first 15 minutes would be the most crucial to his team as they look to settle, and they're facing a test here with Jess. He's away from Neil Duffy, and it's Verto in the end who makes the tackle.
Yeah, that was good defending from Verto there. I think with Jess running that made to show a lot of composure there, was a good game.
Ingles conceding the throw. There's only one player in this Dundee team with previous experience of a final. That's Tommy McQueen, who played in the Scottish Cup final. And that is why Jim Duffy feels this opening quarter of an hour would be crucial to the settlement of his team.
Yeah, I think we can see here he's just caught offside, but it's very important what you're saying there, that Jim Duffy gets his side settled early on in the game. And to be fair to them, I think it looks that way at the moment. I think they've composed themselves, and Aberdeen are taking the game to them, but they look quite comfortable at the moment indeed.
Certainly having made that important challenge on Ian Jess will boost the confidence. McKinney. Jess prompting, looking for Ingles. And Ingles just giving Neil Duffy a little shove.
Yeah, but that could be a threat as well. Big Ingles, he's very good in the air, Big John, and I think he'll be up for a lot of set pieces, as was the case there.
Duffy, the man offended against, he's actually the manager's cousin. And there is the manager. It really is a dream come true for Jim Duffy at 36 years of age. Forced to give up the game at one stage because of a knee problem. George Shaw was offside. Roy Aitken, who's actually a former teammate of Duffy's, they were both at Celtic together, but Aitken managed to hold the shirt that Duffy himself coveted. Verto with the throw. Header away by McKinney. Enjoying the atmosphere as it is at Hampden Park really for the last time, because the South Stand is due to be demolished as part of the refurbishment soon. This is Jess. Another good burst from Jess, but again he's held up just at the wrong moment for him. That time by Manley. This is Miller. Four waiting in the penalty area. Miller's tricked his way past Verto, and he can't squeeze it in from the angle.
That was brilliant from Joe Miller. Just a little bit unfortunate that the cross wasn't the same quality as the turn. Here you see him taking on Verto here. And Verto, to be fair to him, reads the initial move, and wee Joe comes back on it. A lovely piece of skill here. Yeah, lovely. And it's just a shame about the cross.
Saw in Dundee semi-final how Neil McCann got a great finish from a difficult angle. This was a lot more difficult for Miller.
Yeah.
McCann says he's often been asked if that goal was a fluke. Claims it was intended.
Well, not been wanting to claim goals that aren't mine. I would have thought a touch of luck about it.
This is the area where they might just start to be a little unsettled. Maybe that was just a little sign of edginess. Jess. Well, he went for it. It was headed away by Jim Duffy. Dodds was at the edge of the penalty area calling for the pass, but Jess has started in confident and purposeful mood. Yeah, just barging McCann off the ball to try and reach that pass from Gary Smith.
Yeah, I think McCann did well there. He sort of conned Gary Smith into the pass there. We'll hear Aberdeen the attack again.
Here's Smith. Shearer. This is Bernard, who'd spotted the run by Stephen Glass. They were looking to line it up for Dodds, and it was turned away, crucially, by Roddy Manley.
It was good defending there, but Aberdeen are looking dangerous with Jess and Glass pushing forward.
Now here's McCann. A stream of 4 players have pushed up to the edge of the penalty area for Dundee. This is Weghorst. Werter. Still left players forward. Tosh thought he'd been clearly obstructed by McKimmie. Referee Mottram was unimpressed by that appeal.
Well, not having the hindsight, I would think it looked a free kick to me, I must admit.
Here's Bernard. Shearer doing the retrieving. Stuff by Werter and Tosh. This is Weghorst. Jess was in on him so quickly, but he's done well. Too long from Tosh for George Shaw.
Good football out of defence here from Dundee. I think Weghorst, arguably one of the best footballers on show today, and I think Dundee will look for a lot from him.
Shearer. Played back by Manley. Just ferrying the ball out to Tommy McQueen. This is Hamilton, who's not really been able to get into the game yet. Shearer. Comfortably held by Jim Duffy. There's no question about Jim Duffy just selecting himself for the privilege of playing in a final, Ali. He was man of the match, wasn't he, in the semi-final?
He certainly was. He was outstanding against Airdrie. And as I said earlier, it's fairy tale stuff to think that Jim at 36 is out there today. And he'll thoroughly enjoy the whole day, that's for sure.
Tosh. This is Jess. Shearer, Dodds up ahead of him. Miller calling for it on the left. Overhit for Billy Dodds.
I think from Scotland's point of view, it's great to see Ian Jess back to some of the form that we know he can produce. I think last year he had a little bit of a barn spell, but it's great to see him back. And from a personal point of view, I think he's far better in the middle of the park, just off the front two. And from Aberdeen's point of view, I think they'll be looking for a lot from him today as well.
Aiken will probably be having to fight off bids for Ian Jess if he continues his form, because his contract is up at the end of this season. Miller. That was Manley. McKimmie. Glass under strong pressure from Weghorst. Hamilton tried to win it, but has given it to Jess. Number 9, Bernard, to Miller. To talk about this being Jim Duffy's final. It's one that brought you a fair bit of success, Ali.
That's right, I've been very, very fortunate in it. 8 winners' medals. Not like we've been embarrassed blowing my trumpet there, but 8 winners' medals, yeah. Been quite a good tournament for me.
It's not a bad record. Well, they're almost through that quarter of an hour barrier, the First Division team. Seemed in the build-up to be slightly more favoured than Wraith were when they came here as a First Division outfit against Premier Division Celtic last year. But then Wraith's own example. Miller. He was hoping it would swerve in a little.
That was a fair effort from Joe Miller. I think Virtu's going to have his problems cut out with him. Here you see him cutting inside. Jim Hamilton is a fair effort. Maybe Paul Toshara. But I think from the spectator's point of view, I think that it's important both wingers, Joe Miller and Neil McCann. Here you see the shot here just going by. I think it's important that they get forward and they try to do a bit of damage in the final third from both Dundee and Aberdeen's point of view.
Aberdeen causing the most alarm so far. It's 6 years since they last won this trophy, and they beat Rangers, dare I mention.
They certainly did. They beat us 2-1, I think. 2 goals by Paul Mason, I think. I think one of them was offside. There you are.
Manley looking to launch it for Hamilton.
I think there's a man that's come into his own this season as well, Michael Watt. I think for the few years he's been understudy to Theo Snelders, who in my opinion is one of the best goalkeepers in Scotland, and obviously he's learned his trade well, and it's great to see Michael Watt come through.
McKinney. Shearer. This is Dodds. Bernard. Stuart McKinney. Jess lining it up. A little less successful than Miller was moments earlier.
That's right, a little bit off target. But as you can see, as the game's progressing, I think a lot of the Aberdeen stuff's come through Ian Jess, and he's not frightened to have a go there, but it was well off target.
Well, Aberdeen certainly managed to keep Scott Booth's injury secret from Jim Duffy, and Duncan Shearer's presence in the side must present him with all sorts of different problems.
It certainly will, because in my opinion Shearer's more of a 6-yard penalty box predator, and he'll sniff a goal out of nothing. And it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if Duncan Shearer's name was on the score sheet today.
Miller. Dodds is up there. Hamilton's touch, this is Shaw. Made a lot of ground in field, laid off by Hamilton. A good intervention by Smith.
It certainly was. That's what Smith does best. He just reads the game so well, and that was danger for Aberdeen, but he read the situation very clearly and intercepted the pass.
Roy Aitken might have been a little concerned that it was so incisive from George Shaw. First real threat that Dundee have managed to pose. But they're building in confidence a little. Unable to reach the flick from Jim Hamilton, who was an Aberdeen supporter as a boy.
Yeah, I think that's fair comment what Jim Duffy said. I think the first 15-20 minutes were very, very important today to let a lot of the young lads settle, and they've certainly done that. And I think they'll come into the game more now.
Billy Dodds. Nice flick from Grant. Now Miller. Trying his luck on the other side. Dodds and Jess and Shearer making moves to the edge of the penalty area. Glass with the supporting player to his left. It got a little congested. Build-up has to be a bit more patient. This is Glass to McKinney. Shearer let it go. Dodds was looking for the little touch.
Yep, I think Billy Dodds was looking for a flick on there from Duncan Shearer. But it's interesting to see that Wee Joe Miller's changed flanks there. He's over to try his luck with Tommy McQueen, so that should be interesting.
Neil Duffy found Weghorst in his way as he attempted to direct that. Weghorst's touch, this is Shaw. Tosh. Neil Duffy has gone on ahead. He's calling for it, and real tangle between Tosh and Glass.
Yep, that was an interesting decision. Two of them colliding there. I think the referee got it right, to be fair to him. I think Tosh just pulled Stephen Glass back. Doesn't look too happy about it, but I think the referee got it right.
Word of warning for Tosh. Free kick to Aberdeen. McKinley the taker. Shearer. Grant. Dodds had been successfully policed there by Verto.
He was. That was Brian Grant pushing forward there. He's settling it right back this season, Aberdeen side. I prefer him, I must admit, in the middle of the park. He's a good stalwart for the Aberdeen side in the middle of the park. But he's been playing well at right back so far this season.
Dodds has got a date with the SFA to come later this month. The disciplinary hearing into the infamous league match with Rangers. Dodds in action again there with a little touch, but Shearer was offside. Dundee supporters delighted to be at Hampden for the first time in a cup final in 22 years, but you have to feel disappointed for fans from both sides who've not been able to come here because of the postal strike, and their tickets are somewhere caught up in the logjam as a result of the industrial dispute.
That's right, it's a real shame actually, because I believe the 17,000 or so tickets just went immediately up in Dundee, and it's a shame some of them can't be here today.
Nice touch from Bernard. This is Miller. Grant is through well. Shearer has to try and hold off Duffy, and he's done so. Miller goes for it, and it's scrambled away.
Yeah, that was a great move. Paul Bernard did really well there. Obviously Aberdeen's most expensive signing. Did really well breaking forward, and a good flick through to Shearer, who turned well in the box, and Joe Miller was just unlucky not to get in the end of it. Here we see it here, lovely through ball, and Shearer uses his body very, very well. He's strong there against Jim Duffy, and gets the ball across, and Wee Joe just unlucky to get in the end of it. Good defending and all the same, but Tommy McQueen clears it.
Another example perhaps of the different sort of problem Shearer poses to Booth.
That's right, Duncan's obviously a lot stronger. I don't doubt for a minute that Aberdeen will miss Scott Booth, but I think Duncan Shearer's got his own qualities.
Clearance by Duffy, this is Tosh. Smith closed him down so quickly. Bernard, another lovely ball. This is Shearer. Grant. Clearance by McQueen. Smith is inviting trouble really there with Shaw and Hamilton. Tosh. Well, Dundee are certainly keeping them pegged back and giving them a few worrying moments. McCann gamely has made the run.
Yeah, he did very, very well there. He put Michael Watt under a bit of pressure there, showed a bit of pace and closing the goalkeeper down, and he's got a throw in for it.
Watt certainly phased enough by McCann's presence. Tosh. Was Duffy coming through? And cleared by Dodds. Verto.
I have to say that was a little bit of a chance there for Dundee, but a good defender. I think it was Brian Grant to get the tackle in on Duffy there. Here we see it again. It's a good through ball. Tosh, good header. And it's Smith. It's actually Smith that gets the tackle. It's a good tackle, but it was a chance, half chance.
Neil Duffy again. Smith to Shearer. Dodds locating Miller. 3 in the middle. And Duffy up behind Bernard. McKimmie. Dodds left it. This is Shearer. Dodds continuing the run, but Verto had tracked him. Nice little link up between the two strikers.
It certainly was. It was nice stuff here. Dodds let it run through him and Shearer gave him the return ball, but good defending from Verto. Here you see it, lovely over. Shearer gives it back, but Verto read the situation well and had it covered.
Shearer looking to cause harm from the corner now. Miller takes it. Oh!
Chance.
McKimmie's header.
Yep, that's the best chance of the game so far. A good corner, and I don't know who's picking Stuart McKimmie up, but as you see, comes in here. A header from 8 yards. Unlucky. She maybe hit the target from there.
Real golden opportunity for Aberdeen, and Stuart McKimmie knocks it over. McKimmie, the man who has the dream of eventually lifting the cup at the end of the day, and he might have set Aberdeen on the path to doing just that. Certainly the clearest opening that either side have had so far. Play continues despite that foul by Glass on Verto, and the advantage might accrue to Aberdeen here. This is Dodds. 2 players, Jim Duffy and Tommy McQueen, converged on him. Glass. Played in low. Manley is strong.
Yeah, it just seems to me as though Aberdeen have lifted the tempo a little bit, and the pace of the game seems to have increased.
They've had to absorb a little bit of pressure, and now the name of Dusan Verto is being taken by referee Mottram.
He's booking him for somewhere. I don't know whether he's booking him for feigning injury or maybe he said something, but his name's in the book, that's for sure.
McKimmie got the ball across, and it's turned out for a corner. Miller, but the corner has to be retaken because there's another booking. It's Jim Hamilton this time who's in trouble.
Well, I don't know what that's for. Maybe he said something.
On the face of it, they appear to have been 2 very needless bookings. That is a yellow card for Jim Hamilton. Miller's corner. Glass. Verto, the first man booked.
If looks could kill, I think he was looking at the referee there.
It's McKimmie's throw. Miller. Just wasn't too far away from that. Jim Duffy clears. Weghorst. Hamilton. Shaw reaching well. But Gary Smith was there again. But they might be relying a little too heavily on Gary Smith for Roy Aitken's liking at the moment. It's Verto with the throw. Neil Duffy challenging. Clearance by Glass to McQueen.
I think from both teams' point of view, it's important that they get the wingers involved. I think Aberdeen should get the ball as quickly as possible wide to Joe Miller, and Dundee would like to see the ball in the final third to Neil McCann.
Here is Miller. Glass has made the run. Quite prepared to let that go for the goal kick.
I think in the two sides at the moment with half an hour gone, I think, to be fair to Dundee, I think they'll be the happier side. We mentioned earlier on about them settling. They've settled reasonably well, and I think Dundee at this moment in time will be the happier of the two teams.
Already claimed 2 Premiership scalps on their way to the final. They beat Kilmarnock in the 3rd round. They beat Hearts as well in the 4th, although that was a match concluded on a penalty shootout that Dundee won 5-4.
They certainly did, and it was a fabulous game. I remember it well. I think it was 4-4 after extra time. It was a great game.
So they certainly can't write off their pedigree. Jess. And again Ian Jess. With 3 players waiting in the middle, joined by a 4th, Glass, as the cross comes in from Brian Grant. Tosh, having hoped that it would go for the goal kick, found himself having to rescue that from 2 Aberdeen players close to it. This is Glass. Shearer! He went for it with some conviction, but he and Jim Duffy both missed it.
That's right. He peeled off Jim Duffy there pretty well, and Jim was always struggling because he was going back in his heels, but thankfully for Dundee it went out for a bye kick.
Right through them all. Well, not only are they past the quarter of an hour barrier, a half-hour barrier as well too now. It's a surprise in many respects that we haven't had a goal to one team or the other. The way it started, I hope I'm not tempting fate in saying this.
I was going to say that myself. It's inevitable. Tempting fate here is going to be nothing each draw here. But before the game, you'd have backed, you'd have pumped for goals, that's for sure.
So let's see what Dundee can produce from this. It's Verter. Neil Duffy. A little bit of anxiety there for Watt, and he had to get his fingertips to it.
He certainly looks a threat coming forward at set pieces and throw-ins and stuff like that, Neil Duffy. And that was a good header which was touched over the bar to safety. Here you see it was a great cross actually from Verto, and he gets up well. Yep, it's a good header. And the goalkeeper, I think it was going over, but he just touches it over to be sure.
McCann's corner, and Neil Duffy in there again, but it was safe handling by Michael Watt.
Yeah, that wouldn't have done his confidence any harm at all. A, the touch over the bar, and B, coming for the corner and collecting it safely.
May not have been the regular goalkeeper over the course of the season, but he's had a couple of games in this competition, including that semi-final win over Rangers that we're not supposed to talk about with Alan McCoist here. McKimmie. Glass has made the burst. Chance here for Shearer. Good save, but Dodds is there. And Billy Dodds has scored against his former club. To Aberdeen.
Yeah, it was a good goal, well taken. Got a little bit of the break of the ball. I think the goalkeeper had the initial good save. That's a lovely ball there. And Stephen Glass, who powers through and sends over a great ball to Shearer. He just misses it. The keeper makes a good stop. But Billy Dodds following up, alert as ever. And that's a good goal, good striker's goal. Lovely run through from Glass, in between the two defenders. Great cross. Shearer just misses it. I think the goalkeeper takes a good touch, and Dodds is there to knock it over the line.
Acrobatic attempt by the goalkeeper to keep it out. But the predatory instincts of Billy Dodds, who was the semi-final hero with 2 goals, on course to be the final hero as well at the moment.
That's right, it looks like that's his favourite goal. That's where he struck both times against Rangers in the semi-final, sadly enough.
Happily for Aberdeen, they've asserted themselves in the final. Now we'll see what the First Division team are made of. Weghorst. McCann. This is Shearer. Shearer's presence certainly was enough in that incident when Glass put the ball in to put goalkeeper Pajot and Jim Duffy off.
He certainly did. I think the goalkeeper, to be fair, were a collective. I think they thought Duncan Shearer was going to get a header on goal, which he just missed, but it was enough to divert the goalkeeper's attentions.
Here's Jess. Good defensive work by Dundee. Ingles. This is Glass. Going right into the area where he set up the goal. It comes off Neil Duffy.
Yeah, that was good play from Aberdeen. John Ingles did very, very early breaking forward and slipped the ball. Glass was through again. Here's the goal. Nice goal, dodgy, just about his range. But I think Aberdeen will definitely get their tails up.
The back four is holding firm. But the midfielders are getting forward very rapidly in support, pouring forward despite Aberdeen having taken the lead. Grant. Billy Dodds. Grant thought he should have had the free kick.
Yeah, it looked a free kick to me.
What can Dundee make of the counter? This is McCann. Hasn't really been able to get into the game yet, McCann. Finds Hamilton. Weghorst. There are 3 players waiting in the penalty area. And he got it across, but linesman was flagging that he had gone behind.
Very important stage of the game now for both sides. If Aberdeen get another goal, they'll fancy themselves to kill it off. But from Dundee's point of view, they could do an equaliser before half-time.
The noises coming from the Dundee camp in the week leading up to the final, relaxed as they have been, is that they don't want to come here for a patronising pat on the back as the First Division team that did well but didn't win anything.
I think that's fair comment. I think just looking at Wraith Rovers last year, they've given everybody the whole Scottish football positive notes, if you like, because nobody fancied them at all to win the cup against Celtic, and here they won it in penalties.
Certainly no one fancied Wraith when a man called Charlie Nicholas scored for Celtic in that final, but they fought back and got a late equaliser, so perhaps that's the inspiration that Dundee will use.
That was actually another one that was offside in the Hams.
Perhaps he'll have something to say about that in a moment. Gary Smith, who's been rock solid.
George Shaw just gets away from him there. Yeah, and he brings him down. Free kick.
Which Verto will take. 5-man line across the edge of the penalty area. Looking for Hamilton. Neil Duffy goes in to challenge. It's a good clearance initially. Hamilton tried to catch the goalkeeper off his line, but Watt was very alert there and reacted so well to get back.
He certainly did, but that was a great challenge by Neil Duffy, forcing Michael Watt into the punch here. Here you see it. That's a good save. He collects it well, but it's a good initial challenge from Neil Duffy to force the goalkeeper into a punch and create a chance for Dundee.
Bernard. Weghorst. Just caught there by Paul Bernard.
Here you see it, he takes the ball, he's going away from Bernard. Yeah, and he just catches him there.
Jess. Now, can he manipulate the space? Glass has made another good run. It's Miller! Joe Miller! Oh, it was a golden opportunity for Miller.
That was a great chance, it really was. Joe will be upset with that, he should have hit the target there. You see Jess coming forward. Joe lets it run through him. And he's got a clear striking goal with his left foot and fails to hit the target. That was a real chance. Here we see it again. Yeah, you've got to hit the target from there.
He'd done the hard work, he'd made the turn away from Verto. And the finish really benign. Touch. Hamilton and Shaw were both waiting to benefit from the fruits of Tosh's work when he thought fouled.
Yeah, I'd like to see that again.
Given.
Here we see it again. Paul Tosh running to Stuart McKimmie, using his pace. And yeah, that's a free kick in my book. I thought it was, but I stuck my neck out. It was a free kick, yeah.
Disappointed with that, as he will be with the miss a moment ago, and sometimes it's on those sort of incidents that matches like this can turn.
Well, it's on a hinge, I mean, it's on a knife edge, and as I said, at half-time there was a big difference between obviously 1-0 and 2-0, and Joe might be thinking about that. He was looking for somebody in the overlap there who just wasn't there. Stephen Glass, I think.
We've had 49 finals before this, and only 7 of them have been won by a single goal. Hamilton. Certainly the way Aberdeen are playing at the moment, they don't feel that 1 goal will be enough. Neil Duffy looking for the run of Shaw. And held off well again by Smith.
Yeah, as I said earlier, I mean, Smith anticipates things very, very well, and he sees things happening early on, and he saw that pass. Here we see the move from...
this is the goal again for Dodds.
Stephen Glass here. It's a good cross. And he's Shearer come in, just missing it. And it's a good stop initially. And Billy Dodds comes in there, and it's a good finish.
It's Dodds' 5th goal in the Scottish Coca-Cola Cup tournament. And it actually takes him level with the leading scorer, who's also on the field today, Dundee's Neil McCann. Jess. Spinning awkwardly off McQueen, tamely giving away a throw-in. Grant to Jess. Ball from Bernard to McKimmie. Dodds. Shot came back off Manley. McCann running into trouble. Jess. Miller. Glass. Miller. Bernard. Well left by Jess. Might benefit now. Ian Jess! Great save by the goalkeeper because it was well struck by Jess.
That was another real chance. That was the goalkeeper just keeping them out there in a bit unorthodox fashion, but the important thing was he kept it out, but it was a good move again from Aberdeen.
And Jess, the man who had that great opening, is now down on the field after that challenge from Weghorst. He's not been penalised with a free kick.
He's certainly involved in the action the last couple of minutes. Here we see it. He goes over, it takes a lovely return ball from Dodds. Slips inside Jim Duffy, it's a good shot, which the goalkeeper keeps out with his feet. It's a good save, actually.
And that's why he's now having treatment.
And then 30 seconds later, he's on the receiving end of a tackle from Weghorst.
Was Weghorst indeed, and just not looking too comfortable. I think he'll get to half-time now somehow.
I would think so. I think he'll go in and he'll get 10 minutes rest and he'll be okay again.
Roy Aitken then, pleased in one respect that his team are ahead, but I wonder just how concerned he is at these opportunities that are going begging. And it's half-time at Hampden Park. And Billy Dodd's goal has helped Aberdeen to assert their Premier Division supremacy over the First Division pretenders to the crown. But a number of other opportunities have gone begging, notably from Jess and Miller, but Aberdeen are ahead at the halfway stage.
Half-time at Hampden and Aberdeen are in front. That's why they're, well, celebrating perhaps not the right word. Thinking about celebrating? A long way to go yet. 45 minutes more at least. 1-0 to Aberdeen at half-time. 9 attempts, 2 on target, 3 from Dundee. On target with each of them, mind. 2 booked, both from Dundee, for complaining. And in terms of the action areas, 31% of that Dundee defensive third. Alan Smith and Charlie Nicholas, our guest this afternoon. Alan, you were on Dundee simply because Charlie went Aberdeen, but it has been for them a backs-to-the-wall operation to date, hasn't it?
Yeah, first 10 minutes or so, I said to Charlie, you know, do you expect it to go like this all the way? And he didn't, but there's still time for Dundee, but no, I think Aberdeen do deserve their lead. They've had numerous chances, actually. There's been a lot of melees in the Dundee United box, and yeah, they deserve the lead. And
if you were going to put money on a scorer, Charlie, Billy Dodds against his old team, perhaps no surprise there. But yep. What was the keeper doing?
Well, it was a great ball initially from McKimmie to Glass, but the keeper here, I think he's going for the old photographer behind the goal, taking the photograph, making it look spectacular. It's a good move from Aberdeen. Right back's caught out a bit, Virto's caught out of position, but the keeper here should just be picking it up, in all honesty. It's a gift for Billy Dodds against his old club. But Aberdeen have been camped in their half just about the whole of the first half, and they certainly deserve to be in the lead. But Dodds will be delighted about that.
As Ali McCoist said, Dodds is a 6-yard box striker, isn't he? He'll pick up bits and pieces like that all day.
Well, that is a striker's goal, isn't it, as Ali said? Just those little chances that fall from little mistakes off defenders or keepers, and that's a striker's job.
What about the opportunity that fell to Joe Miller, who seemed to have done all the hard work, Alan, having got himself into a position to get a shot on goal? Again, a nice movement through the middle. Yeah, he got himself into a nice position. Inexplicably pushed it wide, with some pace as well. Yeah, one of the better chances of the half, and from that position... Mark has lost it, now steps back in. You would expect him maybe to shoot across the goal there, whether he miscued that. It looked like possibly he did miscue it, but a shot across the other side of the goal would have been a better option. And then the keeper made amends for the earlier error. Unorthodox, again, as Ali said, but he kept it out, Charlie, and that must give Dundee hope, surely. Well, it does, because I think they look a little bit dangerous at free kicks and corners for Dundee. I think that's where they initially look as if they're going to get something. But, you know, I think the Dundee keeper's really made a mess of the goal, but in saying that, he's kept him in it with a couple of saves. But Aberdeen have had a couple of chances. Joe Miller just needed to show a little composure in that position, I think, and he could probably have placed it by the goalkeeper. Just a quick word, of course, Aberdeen more used to Hampden recently. They beat Rangers there in the semi than Dundee. Does it take a time to settle? Well, it does, but I think what Dundee have done, they've given Aberdeen the room
in midfield, and they've just sat back and says, right, we'll try and hold them out until we get ourselves calmed down. But they've not got out their own half. They've not got any forwards to hold it up. So they're going to be stuck in their own half until they do that.
It is half-time at Hampden. It's 1-0 to Aberdeen. And they are halfway there, those Aberdeen fans. Can Dundee find themselves a way back? And don't forget, Andy will be joining us a little later, looking back on Saturday's goals from the Premiership yesterday. But when we come back, it's Hampden for the second half of the Coca-Cola Cup final. Hampden Park, 1-0 to Aberdeen at half-time. And tomorrow night, don't forget, the Monday night football comes from the City Ground. It's Nottingham Forest against Manchester United. What a game that should be. Right now, it's back to Hampden to rejoin our match commentators Ali McCoist and Rob Hawthorne.
Billy Dodd's goal may well separate the two teams, but just how forgiving will the fates be of all the chances that Aberdeen have seen go astray? Certainly some great chances in that first period. Joe Miller missing the best of them. But Billy Dodds has made himself joint top goal scorer in this season's Scottish Coca-Cola Cup competition with a real Predators goal, Ali.
He certainly has. I mean, it was an instinctive goal. Duncan Shearer, as we said earlier, put the goalkeeper off and he got a touch to it, but great striking by Dodds, following everything in, and knocked it over the line from about 3 or 4 yards.
The last arrival onto the field is the referee.
The usual warm welcome there from Les Montrum. No offence meant Les.
Very experienced official. The FIFA list. And Dundee, on whom the onus rests in this second half, will get us restarted. 3 times previously they've won the Scottish League Cup. Last time was back in 1973. Last time they were in the final was in 1980. That was the Dundee derby, and United beat them. The match that day was staged at their own Dens Park ground. Dodds. Break from Glass. It's done well. Shearer will go for it, and it's in. 2-0 to Aberdeen.
Oh, wonderful goal. It really was. Brilliant football down the left-hand side there from Stephen Glass. And Duncan Shearer. Well, don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. Here we see it. Great football from Glass. Lovely cross. And Shearer gets up there and knocks it in. Brilliant goal. What a cross this is. And Shearer gets up above Duffy, and I think it's Virto. And the keeper stranded, but what a cross this is. Lovely cross. It's Duffy and McQueen. And I think it maybe came off the side of his head, but the end product's what he wanted. It's a great goal, it really is. Stephen Glass had a great first half, and he started the second half in similar style. Got down the left-hand side there, took the full back on, got to the byline and whipped in a great cross. And a wonderful header. And maybe just back to asking for an awful lot from Dundee to come back from this. We'll just see what they're made of now.
Jim Duffy's resilience was tested by the challenge anyway, in going up to meet that header with Duncan Shearer. But Shearer's header counts. And Aberdeen increased the size of Dundee's task through the man who is only in the starting lineup because Scott Booth has a calf injury. As heartbreaking a day as this is for Booth, the injury costing him his place in the team, he'll be very much a part of the celebrations for the part that he's played in the campaign.
Yeah, well, I think so. I think Scott Booth had a great start to the season, both at the Aberdeen set-up and the international set-up. Scored a couple of very important goals, none more so than the only goal of the game against Finland for Scotland. So although it will blow to him being injured, I think he'll be involved in the celebrations if Aberdeen win the cup.
Here's Glass. Shearer's again waiting in the box, but he and Joe Miller, who's also waiting, have to wait a little longer. Glass, who was also involved in the first goal with the shot that Pajot acrobatically tried to keep out, but only presented the chance to Dodds in the end. Glass's influence has certainly been telling for Aberdeen.
It certainly is. We mentioned at the start of the game that he's one of the most promising youngsters in Scotland, if not Great Britain, and he certainly showed that today.
Bernard finds Miller. Brian Grant. A header away from Duffy. This is Jess. Bernard.
Playing with a lot of confidence at the moment, Ian Jess and Aberdeen.
Shearer, who's pulled wide, can't keep it in play. But Duncan Shearer has done what Aberdeen hoped he would.
Here we see it. It's a great move from Stephen Glass. It really is, taking on Virto and whipped in a tremendous ball. And Shearer getting on the end of it there. It's a great goal, it really is.
Really made his powerful presence felt. And it's no detriment to Scott Booth, but that wasn't the sort of goal that you could have seen him scoring.
That's right. I mean, as I said earlier, Scott Booth scored a few important goals so far this season. None more so, as I said, in the Finland game, but he's a different type of player completely to Shearer. He's more, I think he's more mobile and does a lot of work outside the box, where Shearer's a predator.
Roy Aitken benefiting from the predatory instincts of Shearer. Aitken all set to win his first trophy in charge of Aberdeen since taking over from Willie Miller last February. Really will be a remarkable turnaround in a side that came so close to being relegated for the first time in their history last season. And it's a great tribute to the way the ranks have pulled together. Grant. Number 9, Bernard. Brian Grant. Dodds. Might fall to Jess. It was well struck and it flashed across the face.
Certainly, it was a good effort there. I think Jess started the move and had the ball. Here we see coming back to him, gets a break of the ball off Virto and Tosh, and it's a good strike there, just wide of the target. That's the one thing about Ian Jess, he's willing to have a go. He'll never shirk out it, and just off target there.
Certainly can say the way that that second goal has lifted Aberdeen's confidence. Dodds and Shearer hungry for the ball. Neil Duffy this time looking to find a way through. The ball had been laid off to him by Jim Hamilton.
You'd have to say at this stage it looks as though there's only one team in it. I mean, Aberdeen look, as we said, playing with a lot of confidence. It'll take some special for Dundee to get back in the match, I would think.
Here's Jess. Pinpoint ball to Shearer. Dodds waiting. Billy Dodds can't get there. Great saving challenge from Jim Duffy to deny Dodds.
It really was. It was a great challenge from Jim Duffy, because it looked like a tap in at the back post for Billy Dodds. But a great challenge. Here we see it. Yeah, corner. Great challenge from Jim Duffy.
May well have seen Dodds patting Duffy on the pate. Virto's the man who's conceded this corner. Aberdeen's fans all set to celebrate the ending of the lean times. It's 5 years since they won a trophy, the Scottish Cup. Well, the good times about to come back to Pittodrie, we wonder. Kimmy going for it. Bernard! Well, it was worth a try, directly hit at the goalkeeper.
That was a good effort. I think everybody, myself included, was expecting the cross there, but Paul Bernard just hit it first time. The ball breaks to him here. McKimmie goes for the ball with V-cross and it breaks to him. And he takes a touch. And there's a strike at goal.
Chess. Overhead for Miller. Pass didn't do him too many favours. McCann. McCann really was the great hope for Dundee to provide the inspiration in this final, but hasn't really been able to impose his influence too much on this game. Bernard. Furto's header away, this is McQueen.
Yeah, I think that's fair what you're saying there about Neil McCann. From Dundee's point of view, it's been a bit disappointing that he hasn't been able to flourish, but a lot of the credit must go to Brian Gant for that, who's played him very, very well so far.
Here's Grant. It's a move that had some promise until the final ball went astray. Gave Scottish football a real shake-up when Rotherham, the First Division, won this trophy last year and ensured their place in Europe. But Dundee's hopes of getting back into this match may well rest on McCann, who's just been caught offside again.
Yep, pretty marginal, but I think he was just off there when he was released.
Dodds, Shearer, Bernard. It's hit strongly for Miller. Shearer! He's whipped in so quickly, hardly gave him time to direct it.
Yeah, that was good football again from Aberdeen. They got the ball wide to Joe Miller, and it's a great cross, just looks up, and Duncan Shearer's the end of it again.
Really is a fairy tale for Duncan Shearer. We were watching Blackburn in action earlier today in their goalless draw with Arsenal. They had a little spell there, of course. Never really settled. He's been overlooked for the most part in this League Cup campaign. McQueen's cross. Played in by Tosh. Hamilton was hoping there to get a free header, but Smith was as aware as ever. Ball's in the way that time. That's Weghorst. Michael Watts, Scottish under-21 goalkeeper, played 13 times at that level. Weghorst. This is Shaw. Neil Duffy has made the break, and he might still get through. Well played by McKimmie.
Yeah, that was great defending from Stuart McKimmie there. It was a great break forward, all the same, from Neil Duffy, and a lovely through ball from George Shaw. But Stuart McKimmie read the situation very, very well, and they defended it. There's the Virtu challenge in Shearer, and he gets the free kick for it.
A little Bit of bumping and barging between the two number 8s.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot in it, actually. Could have went either way.
McCann. McCann able to pick up the dummy from Hamilton. Green ball skidding. McCann, no room or time to settle into his natural flow.
He's definitely defended very well. Aberdeen as a whole have defended very well today. None more so than John Ingles.
Hamilton's done well. Looked for Shaw. Header away by Smith. Verto. Twice he tried to feed it through and twice he was denied. This is Miller. McKimmie. To Glass. Dundee have flickered briefly, but now they're retreating again. Tosh wanted the free kick.
That's a strange decision to say the least. That was a free kick, all right.
Throw-in was awarded. This is Glass. Danger really is when you feel persecuted by referees' decisions going against you. The head's already down, drop even more. And although Dundee have smouldered a little bit in this second half, the threat to Michael Watt's goal still hasn't been too potent. Shaw challenging. But Watt has played with confidence whenever questions have been asked of him.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's looked competent in anything that's been asked to do, Michael Watt. At the same time, we haven't really seen Dundee as an attacking force.
McCann. Headed forward by McQueen. And McQueen with the back pass. Hamilton, Weghorst. Ball played behind Shaw.
I must admit, I don't think it'll be too long before we see some activity in the Dundee bench. I think they might bring Britton on to try and pose a goal threat.
Miller. Header away by Jim Duffy. Might fall to Jess. Worthy of the effort from Ian Jess.
Yeah, that was a good strike. Turned his body around to get a drive at it with his right peg. I thought he was going to initially hit it with his left foot, but it was a fair enough effort. Yeah, here we see a substitution getting made. I think Jerry Britton's coming on for Paul Tosh.
Yes, Tosh is the player withdrawn. And Jerry Britton, who began his career with Celtic, comes on to try and pep up the attack. Only recently back after a spell injured. We'll see a change of formation then here from Dundee.
They certainly have. I mean, Tosh gave them the option wide on the right, and it looks to me as though Britton's playing a little bit deeper, but I won't be surprised if he moves up front to give Jim Hamilton a hand.
Glass again. Played the ball into some tricky areas of Stephen Glass.
He certainly does. He delivers a lot of quality with that left foot.
This is Shaw. Now Neil Duffy. He's been a big threat all afternoon, but he's been marshalled well again there by Grant.
Yeah, it was good defending from Brian Grant. I must admit, though, it was a good break forward from Neil Duffy. And Dundee look a little bit dangerous when Duffy breaks forward from midfield, but it was very well policed there by Brian Grant. The initial move is it looks as though George Shaw's dropped back to midfield to leave the two up front, with Hamilton and Britton.
If anybody's going to do anything for Dundee, it looks like it will be Neil Duffy. He's been the constant threat from the First Division side. Smith. Verto to take it. Plenty of blue shirts forward. Verto's cross, Hamilton. McQueen to try and keep the pressure on. But you're always vulnerable to the threat of the counter as Jess strolls forward. Great ball from Jess. This is Miller. Shearer and Dodds in the middle. And Miller just cannot provide for them.
Brilliant from Ian Jess there all the same. Broke away in the left and he had the vision to switch the ball far right to Joe Miller. He will be disappointed with that cross because Billy Dodds there a little bit irate as well because he peeled to the back post and he was unmarked. He would say it. That's a wonderful ball from Jess. And if you watch Billy Dodds there, Duncan Shearer takes the defender to the front post and Dodds was unmarked at the back.
Ian Jess has done his cause no harm with his performance today.
He certainly has. He's a lovely footballer and he'll be part of the international setup for years to come, I would think. Scored his first goal for Scotland in the 5-0 win against San Marino.
Yes, I think he's enjoyed his appearances at Hampden lately. Jim Duffy. Another man who challenged him. McQueen. Here's Britton, the substitute. McCann has made the run. Three were waiting and the cross didn't reach.
Yeah, well, they've certainly picked up a little bit Dundee since Jerry Britton came on. And that was a good ball. He released McCann on the left there.
There's just under 20 minutes, enough time in which for Dundee to mount a revival. The form this season has been spectacular. They've actually scored 50 goals during the course of the entire campaign.
That's quite a figure, I don't know that.
Hamilton has provided 11 of them.
I think Aberdeen have got to be fairly happy at this stage. They've scored the goal earlier on in the second half with Shearer and they've consolidated it. And as I said earlier on, I think it will take a mighty effort from Dundee to get back in the game. I think at this stage, John Ingles and Gary Smith marshal the Aberdeen defence very, very well, and they look pretty solid.
Here's Manley. Ball came off Dodds for the throw. Looking for Shearer. Laid off well to Miller. Joe Miller! And he almost rectified his previous misses. That's the best that he's done with an effort at goal.
It's a great effort. Lovely layoff from Shearer. And there's only one thing on Joe Miller's mind, that's to have the pot at goal, and that's not far away. It's a great strike.
scorching effort.
I think the goalkeeper was happy to see that, just go the right side of the post for him.
Miller. Hamilton. Weghorst has made the break into the box. Comfortable header back from McKimmie. Here's Shearer. Grant. Jess. This is George Shaw. Hamilton and McCann are both waiting. Manley's come forward to join them from the back as well. This is Manley. Good work from Neil McCann. The shot deflected and well held by Michael Watt.
Yeah, that was encouraging football there from Dundee. A good effort from Neil McCann. I think Jim Hamilton was a little bit upset he didn't slip on the ball there, but good football here received from McCann. And he could maybe just have slipped it to Hamilton in number 10, but quite right to have the effort as well.
Well, there'd have been some irony if McCann had scored there, because they're planning to replace him. That man Anderson is the one who's intending to come on, but I wonder if they'll be shuffling for a different number now. And Shearer is offside. By putting the ball into the side netting, the change can now be made. And McCann, who's had a largely disappointing afternoon, goes off, and young Ian Anderson comes on to replace him.
Yeah, that's a move that surprises me a little, because I think from the D's point of view they were maybe relying a little bit too heavily on McCann, and he just couldn't get into the game this afternoon. But as I said earlier on, a lot of that was down to the fact that Brian Grant's played him so very, very well.
20 minutes left. This is Weghorst. Britain. Good try.
Yeah, that was a good effort. Nice football from Weghorst. Released Britain, he cut inside, and a great effort with his left foot. Here you see it. And I think Michael Watt sees it just a little bit late. Yeah, it's a good save. It's a better save than the first start.
At least they're giving Watt something to do at last. Anderson's corner cleared to Jim Duffy. Here's McQueen. Well, they were talking of this game in terms of a 35,000 sellout. The official figure, 33,096. Seeing Roy Aitken's team leading by 2-0. So presumably the 2,000 shortfall will be held responsible for the postal dispute and the tickets that never reach their destinations.
I think those posters have got a lot to answer for.
Maybe the Dundee fans will be happy they didn't get there the way the game's going forward.
I don't know about that.
Brian Grant very committed. Here's Weghorst. McQueen. And Anderson wins the corner off Jess.
I said earlier, I think Dundee have certainly picked up with the two substitutions they've made, Anderson and Britton. They've injected a little bit of life into the Dundee side.
McQueen. Manley up there. Anderson! Well, that really would have been a fairy tale, wouldn't it? The substitute coming on and scoring.
It certainly would have. I think he just snatched it a little. The volley came to him and he just snatched it. Here we see it, the ball breaks him from a couple of headers there. Yeah.
All credit to their spirit, Dundee. maybe 2-0 down. They're still making a decent battle of it. McQueen. Twice before, Dundee have experienced the feelings of being runners-up in this League Cup final. Can they avoid that fate happening for a third time? This is certainly as good a spell as they've had in the match.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think Dundee are playing with a little bit more confidence now.
Shaw's corner. Manley got up there.
Yep, you're right what you said there. It's definitely Dundee's best spell, and a lot of the credit must go down to the two substitutions they've made.
This was a powerful climb by the defender. I think his sight of goal was well obstructed. Manley again. This is Dodds. Miller. Grant. Miller. Brian Grant disappointing with the end product.
Yeah, the cross wasn't great, but Aberdeen, they certainly do play some good football.
Dundee free kick here having to be retaken when referee Mottram's happy about the positioning of it. Aberdeen, certainly a club who you associate with success over the years. League champions 4 times, cup winners back in 1983, so they'll be hoping this is the start of bigger things. Miller showing a fair bit of spirit to win the throw-in.
Yeah, they certainly were a great side in the 80s when Alex Ferguson was the manager. I think one of the best sides in Britain, and they proved that by winning the Cup Winners' Cup, and they beat Real Madrid in the final in Gothenburg, I think it was.
Certainly the players who join the club do so in the hope of, through it being a big club, winning trophies. Certainly that's what Billy Dodd said when he joined. But he moved to Pittodrie intending to win cups, and all he faced in his first season there was a battle against relegation. But here they are on the brink of their first success with him at the club, and Dodds has contributed to it with the first goal. Jess. Tackled by Britton. Shearer, who got the second goal. Grant. He's looking for more movement from Miller. Well, he may be 14 minutes away from winning his first trophy as Aberdeen manager. Wouldn't guess it, actually, looking at him, would you?
I've seen that face a few times, actually. I've been the receiving end of that face a few times, actually.
League Cup actually is not a competition that's been too kind to Roy Aitken over the years. Only won it once in his time with Celtic. So that was from 6 appearances in the final. Perto's throw. Manley's header goes straight to Miller. Jim Duffy's clearance. Angles in there commandingly. This is Jess. Smith. Bernard to Joe Miller. Dodds. Not given a clear sight that time, Dodds.
That was a little bit of a half chance as well. Good football again from Joe Miller, wide on the right.
Reaching out for the back header from McKimmie.
One of the major factors about Joe Miller's play is he's good in the sense that he'll whip in an early cross. You can take people on and get to the byline, but at the same time he's prepared to whip in an early cross, which is ideal for forwards.
Think that the way things are going, Aberdeen would want to leave matters fairly well settled, but the change is about to be made and Joe Miller will be the man withdrawn.
Well, that was inevitable after I sang his praises there, wasn't it? Yeah, I think Joe Miller will be fairly happy with his contribution today. Played fairly well.
Robertson gets his big chance in the final. He's 20 years of age. Really, Aberdeen have made their experience tell.
Yeah, they certainly have. That's another good point I was going to make. There's a lot. One of the good things to come out of today's game. There's a lot of young talent out there. In the shape of McCann and Robertson and people like that, and of course Glass. So the much maligned Scottish game at the moment, I think it's very, very encouraging that there is a lot of young talent coming through.
Ones of the old heads aren't bad either.
Some older than ours.
Here's Anderson. This time Robertson's first chance to shine, and he's made progress. Dodds is scampering into the box, so too is Shearer, goes for glory.
That was quite an opening to the game from Robertson, I'll tell you. He did very well down the left flank there and whipped in a good ball. Just unfortunately the goalkeeper got there before Dodds.
Here's Jess. Dodds pulls to the left and he's offside.
Yeah, I think Billy Dodds a little bit upset that Ian Jess didn't release him earlier. He ran across the line and then went forward, just caught offside.
Aberdeen then 9 minutes away from ending their 5-year trophy drought. Britain could build up this from Dundee, but while 4 were waiting, Shaw couldn't deliver the cross. Here's Berto. Shaw. Certainly the Aberdonians are making their voices heard at Hampden Park now. Completely sold out there. 17,000 allocation of tickets. And for the people who invested in the recent £2 million share issue, this is an immediate dividend. Shearer just caught there.
Yeah, but I think Aberdeen fans, as you said, they've had 4 or 5 barren years without a trophy, but it looks as though that's going to change today. And there are a lot of happy folk up in the Granite City, I think, this evening.
It's another change. Dusan Verto, the Slovakian, is coming off. And on to replace him is Ray Farningham. Disappointing day for Jim Duffy. Unless matters can turn around in the final 7 minutes. Conceded the corner, despite what he may think.
Typical Jim Duffy, all I see him as competitive as ever. 5 or 6 minutes to go and he's wanting a corner, a goodbye kick, he's wanting everything, tackling everything.
That's with a corner. And cleared in the end by Britain. Jim Duffy knew, though, that this was not only his first chance to win a major final, but very probably his last as well, certainly as a player. He'll hope that he has a long and fruitful management career ahead of him. And you can't really understate the impact that he's had at Dens Park since he's been in charge.
He certainly has. He's done remarkably well. He's got the Dundee side back playing some good football. And as I said earlier, a lot of good youngsters coming through. I think Jim Duffy's been a great advert for Scottish football.
Won the high praise from his chairman in the build-up. Here's Shaw. Hamilton and Neil Duffy are both waiting if the cross can be provided. This is Weghorst. And well, it looked a good opening for Britain, but he didn't really catch it as cleanly as he wanted.
No, he never caught it at all. I think, to be fair to him, Weghorst gave him the ball a little bit late. Jerry Britton was looking for it earlier and just sliced it wide of the target.
The time is certainly Michael Watts to waste. And Shearer tries to play that ball through. Billy Dodds ruled offside. Wonder who Gordon Strachan was supporting as he...
I don't think he could lose, Gordon. Having played for both sides.
Started his career at Dundee, of course, and then was there for the glory years of Aberdeen. McQueen, Weghorst. Britain. Still pursuing late glory for Dundee, Jerry Britton, but not much joy there.
A little bit unlucky, but I'll say one thing for him, he's on to the face of the attack, if you like, and he's prepared to have a go. He's taking the ball into his feet, and he's had more shots at the Aberdeen goal, I think, than any other Dundee player.
Even at this late stage, Aberdeen are going to make another change. And Ian Jess, who's orchestrating in the midfield, has been such a key part, comes off. And Peter Heatherstone is the man who comes on to replace him.
This is quite a nice story, actually. It's great to see Peter Heatherstone on the cup on Hampden Park there, because he left Wraith Rovers and he's moved to Aberdeen, and Wraith Rovers went on to win the cup last year. So it's nice to see him get a little bit of glory there.
That's right, he was another one who said he left because he wanted to win trophies. The club he left behind got the glory. Shearer. And Duffy clears. So the Wraith manager, Jimmy Nicholl, will be happy because he said that's what he'd hoped for, wasn't it? Heatherstone coming on.
That's what he said.
Good ball from Hamilton. Great opening here with the goalkeeper having committed himself. Well, it looks like Anderson has taken it too wide and too far. And that may well be Dundee's last hope of troubling the scorers.
Yeah, I think that it was a wonderful ball, it really was, to release Anderson here, and I think he shaped to hit it, and with hindsight he should have hit it, because he didn't have the support up there and tried to control it, but the chance was gone. But it was a great ball that released him, and I feel he should have hit the ball early.
Belated moment of madness from Michael Watt. Could have been quite costly. Heatherstone now involved, but Bernard's cross well astray.
Yeah, there's one or two occasions where Aberdeen have got themselves in good positions wide, and the final cross has let them down, the final ball. But that was definitely Dundee's best chance of scoring today, I think.
Header by Smith. This is Jim Duffy. Hamilton. Quite comfortably left by Grant. Shearer and Dodds, the two Aberdeen scorers. This is Robertson on a break. Glass has powered his way into the box, so too is Shearer, and Pajot claims it. But another scare.
That was a great save. A good break. Wide on the left again from Aberdeen, but a good save.
Here's Vigorst. Just took it on too far. And Ingles tidies up. Clock in the top left of your screen will tell you Aberdeen are half a minute away from winning the first domestic trophy of the season. A trophy that must have seemed well far in the distance for Roy Aitken when he took over from Willie Miller. Spirit at the club was at an all-time low. He rallied the troops to mount a successful campaign against relegation. And now there's a pot of silver at the end of the rainbow for him.
It certainly is, and I think, to be fair, Aberdeen have deserved the victory today. They've looked the better side. They've defended really, really well, and they've got two goal predators in the shape of Dodds and Shearer.
Header by Ingles.
I tell you, he's been outstanding today, John Ingles. He really has.
Well, they're getting ready for the celebrations already. Hampden Park alive.
I imagine there'll be a few drinks getting bought up in Aberdeen tonight. I don't know who's going to buy them, but I think Aberdeen will be the place to be tonight.
Even the late scare not too serious too. Michael Watt's goal. Poised to win a League Cup medal. All eyes on referee Les Mottram. This is Shearer. Duncan Shearer going for the glory of a second goal for himself and a third for Aberdeen, when others may have been in better positions. It's all a formality now, is it? It is. The referee has blown the final whistle. And Aberdeen's trophy famine is over. They've won the Coca-Cola Cup. Duncan Shearer, who wasn't even supposed to be in the team, got the second goal. Roy Aitken is with Davy Provan.
Right, it's a bit like old times here in the National Stadium as the Aberdeen fans celebrate. What's your immediate reaction to the club's first trophy win in 5 years?
I feel we played well in the game, you know, we dominated the match. I think it's only just deserved. We the boys that came through the tournament, been a lot of hard games in the tournament, and justifiably got the awards today.
You've known a lot of success here in the National Stadium as a player. How does this compare this afternoon as a manager?
Well, I want to be successful as a manager as well, and obviously hopefully this is the start of a lot of trophies at Batodri. There's a rebuilding job going on, and as I say, I'm just delighted to be part of it.
After the disappointments of last season, you look upon this as a new beginning for Aberdeen?
Well, as I say, it's the start of a rebuilding process. And this club got to get back challenging top teams. And today we've shown we can match the best. We've done it in style.
What do you make of the way the Aberdeen public have come down here to support you?
Doesn't surprise me, because I saw them at the end of last year, and it showed what the fervour and the meaning, what his club actually means to them. And they've showed it again today. Look at them, they're enjoying themselves, and they're quite right.
Well done, Roy. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, Davey. Well, it's been a long, arduous road for Aberdeen. Just think these players last May were concerned about the prospect of playing in the division where Dundee reside. But now they're talking not only about a League Cup win today, but for the future, a UEFA Cup place. And it can't be bad, Ali, to see Aberdeen back in Europe.
No, it's great. I think, to be fair, everybody knows Aberdeen is a great force in Scotland, and nobody can argue the fact that they deserve their victory today. They've got some great young fellas in the team. Stephen Glass, I thought, performed exceptionally well today. The goalkeeper's come through again in flying colours, handled everything that was asked of him. John Ingalls, I felt, was outstanding at the back. Gary Smith mastered the defence well. They've definitely, I would think that at this moment in time, there's positive signs coming out of Aberdeen at the moment.
Well, those positive signs are written all over the faces of those players. Massive grins from all of them. Stuart McKimmie, the captain, no one can be more delighted than him. He said you become a captain to lift trophies and to get your hands on silverware, and he has now done that. But while the Aberdeen fans celebrate, they also applaud the contribution made to the final by Dundee. And as is the custom on these occasions, they go up for the presentation first. Ian Jess applauds the valiant effort made by Jim Duffy's team, as the manager's cousin Neil Duffy leads them through.
Yeah, certainly I think Jim Duffy can be very, very proud of his team today. I think they battled and performed reasonably well. They possibly didn't attack or create as many chances as they would have hoped, but it's certainly a good day, and Dundee can be quite happy with themselves.
Neil Duffy, who posed a big threat to the Aberdeen goal, he seemed the likeliest Dundee scorer. Not the circumstances in which Jim Duffy would have hoped to end his first major final. And although they said they didn't want the patronising pat on the back for a job well done but no trophy, you can only applaud the valiance shown by Dundee throughout the 90 minutes. Neil McCann, there'll be other occasions for him, long career ahead of him. And Morten Weghorst, who made such an important contribution to the whole run, and in fact was awarded the goal of the tournament, the one that he got in the quarter-final against Hearts. Duncan Shearer replaced the injured Scott Booth and now has the Aberdeen fans in raptures, having scored the second killer goal just at the start of the second half. It was an important time to score, and Aberdeen did just that.
Yeah, the second half started just the way Aberdeen would have wanted it to. They got the second goal in the first couple of minutes, and it invariably killed off the final.
Everyone has their hands shaken by Roy Aitken, but Alex McKimmie, who is the first Aberdeen-born captain to captain the Don since Martin Buchan, now will collect the trophy from Gavin Darby of Coca-Cola. And Alex McKimmie, who said he stood in line behind Willie Miller, wondering what it was like to lift a trophy. Well, now Stuart McKimmie has that feeling. And the rest of the players get the touch as well. John Ingalls, who played such an important part at the back for them. Michael Watt, who may not have expected to be in the team at the start of the week. Stephen Glass, who set up both the goals with telling runs in from the left. And Billy Dodds, the man who set them on their way with the first goal. Right through the team. Crucial contributions. Well, Stuart McKimmie cost £100,000 from Dundee back in 1983. He's seen the glory years here before, and now, along with all of those players, they must hope that this is just the start of something bigger and that they'll be recapturing those years, that this is the launching pad.
I would think so. I think last year was obviously a major disappointment to everybody at Aberdeen and everybody involved with Aberdeen. To be involved in a relegation battle and a dogfight and having to play Dunfermline was beyond, I think, Andy's imagination. And it's great to see them back here. They performed well throughout the cup competition. I think, in all honesty, they deserve. Nobody can grudge them this. They beat us fair and square in the semi-final, and they proved that today they were the best side on show today. And as I said earlier, there was a good goal by Dodge and a good finish again from Shearer. Two good strikers' goals, and they indeed didn't create an awful lot. And I think at the end of the day, 2-0 was just about the right result, although Aberdeen maybe possibly feel they could have scored more.
And under the shining lights of Hampden, this is the last time that the South Stand will have the Scottish Coca-Cola Cup bared in front of it. The stand in which they're displaying it at the moment is to be demolished. But as they parade their trophy, and that is the original trophy, by the way, awarded for the 50th time. Aberdeen were runners-up in the first final to be staged to Rangers. But now on their 11th appearance in the final, Aberdeen are winners for the 5th time. Adding to a scroll that shows a pretty impressive list of honours. Unconfined joy then in the Granite City as Roy Aitken's heroes bring the good times back to Pittodrie. And the winning captain, Stuart McKimmie, is with Norman Corbett.
Stuart, congratulations. How do you feel?
It hasn't really sunk in yet. It's absolutely tremendous just listening to the fans, and I'm absolutely delighted for everybody concerned for Aberdeen.
Stuart, you were almost relegated 7 months ago. Captain of the local club. Must have been dreadful for you then.
That's right. When I was asked to be captain, I thought I'd be winning trophies week in, week out, but unfortunately we're fighting against relegation. But this is what I wanted to be captain of. I won it side, and long may it continue. I'm sure I'll be more in the years to come.
And what about for yourself personally, Stuart, actually lifting the trophy and being successful?
Well, as I said, this is what I hope to do, and it's a tremendous feeling. As I said, it hasn't sunk in yet. Once I have a few drinks tonight, then I'll realise what I've done.
Where does it go from here, Stuart?
Thanks very much. Sorry?
Where does it go from here for the club?
Well, we'll have a few celebration drinks tonight up the road in Aberdeen, and then we've got a big game to look forward to on Saturday. We're back to the league again. We've got to try and get a bit of consistency in that, and hopefully we'll be challenging for that at the end of the season.
Thanks very much, Stuart.
Thanks, Lauren. Thank you.
Well, in his first 7 years at Aberdeen, Stuart McKimmie said it was virtually a trophy a season. So when you go through a lean spell like this, it must make you hark back to the good times.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there, Stuart. I think obviously delighted with his team's performance today, and they'll be out tonight and a few drinks in Aberdeen, I would imagine. In fact, I wouldn't mind playing them tomorrow.
Well, the scorer of the first goal, Billy Dodds, is now with Norman Corbett.
Billy, a successful tournament for yourself, winning the trophy.
That's right. I'm not caring how many goals I score, really. It's nice to score, but as long as Aberdeen fans and Aberdeen as a club got in the situation to win the trophy, that's the main thing. Brilliant.
What about the situation of the club at the end of last season?
Yeah, everybody knows we were down there and we struggled to get out of it. We always knew we were a good team. I think it was just a confidence case. I've said that all along. Today we proved how good a team we were.
Duncan, great goal today as well.
Thanks. Cheers.
How do you feel?
Delighted. Obviously, same as Billy. First winners medal. Delighted for us, and most importantly, delighted for them.
Billy, we can show you your goal. We can show you your goal now.
I think Big Duncan done great. He went out, I think it was to wee Stevie Glass, who whipped in a great ball. Big Duncan just threw himself at it, and I was lucky the ball broke for me. You can see here Stevie Glass whips in a great ball. Big man throws himself right in there where it hurts. Then the wee man was in there. So get in there, that'll do for me.
Now, Duncan, your goal. Talk us through this one.
Well, I said as well, come out to Stephen Glass to put in some good early balls with his left foot, and he's put in a peach. I managed to get in between Duffy and Hanley. I'm delighted just to see it power into the net. It gave us a nice little cushion so early in the second half. You see Stephen there just dropped his foot right around the ball, and I managed to get a good header on it.
Couldn't miss that head anyway.
Delighted.
Were you impressed with Dundee?
I was in the second half. I think they gave us too much respect in the first half. And they came a bit in the second half, but they couldn't get the goal. And I thought we ran out worthy winners. As you see there, like, just great goal.
Duncan, thanks very much.
So 2-0 to Aberdeen. Commiserations to Dundee, but many congratulations to Aberdeen. And they, of course, take the first European place available this season, along with that Coca-Cola Cup. 5 years without a trophy, but Roy Aitken has got his hands on one now. We've got all of Saturday's Carling Premiership goals to come, and when we come back, we'll have a look back on the Coca-Cola Cup final. Ten minutes ago at Hampden Park, Aberdeen ended their long wait. 5 years without a trophy. Stuart McKimmie got his hands on the Coca-Cola Cup. 2-0 they've beaten Dundee this afternoon. And with that trophy, of course, comes a place in Europe. Roy Aitken there, a very proud man. 7 months back, they were nearly down and out of the Premier League. And right now, these scenes are live back at Hampden. Aberdeen have their hands on a trophy again. Goals this afternoon from Billy Dodds and Duncan Shearer. McKimmie, who got used to a lot of success at Pittodrie, suffered with the rest, but the wait is over now. Let's go and join Ian Jess, who's with Davy Provin.
Ian, you won your first League Cup medal as an 18-year-old. How does it feel second time around?
It's great. It's been a long time coming. Waited patiently. I mean, the last 2 seasons have been, in Aberdeen's point of view, bad, you know, so it's great to be back here. And I mean, this is what it's all about, and the fans are absolutely tremendous. I mean, a travelling supporter like that, and the noise they made was phenomenal.
We could see what this victory meant to the Aberdeen supporters. What does it mean to the players?
Oh, it's a great deal, especially after last season. I mean, the disappointments of last season. To come back and win the first trophy, first domestic this season is tremendous, and it was a great team effort. I mean, Duncan come back in and do so well. I mean, he's played in the reserves, he's been patient, and he's took his chance, and I mean, he's scored a great goal, and that's what Duncan's there for.
How pleased were you with the way you passed the ball today, with the general performance?
Yeah, I mean, we passed the ball, we were patient, we had to be patient. I mean, the way the game went off at a tremendous pace, it was unbelievable. I mean, I was trying to get my second win, but I mean, we passed and we were patient. I mean, Dundee in the second half worked really hard. And I mean, they passed it as well as we did. But I mean, we got the goals, and that's what counts in the end.
Do you think it's too early to say that Aberdeen are back as a major force in Scottish football again?
Well, I don't know. It's sort of consistency in the league games that sort of let us down. And we've played well throughout the cup. I mean, I think we've played our best football all round. But it's that consistency in the league we have to get sorted out, and hopefully we can do that. And I mean, I think Roy's the man to do that.
I know you're tired, Ian. Go and enjoy your bath. Well done.
Yeah, thanks.
Enjoy your bath and a few drinks, I would think. As you can see, Andy has made it back from Highbury to join us. We have Charlie Nicholas and Alan Smith here as well. Just a quick word, Andy, on the theory behind getting the first trophy out of the way before Christmas and won. That's not a bad idea at all, is it?
I like it. I mean, I've said before that it's something I think we should think about south of the border, the League Cup, because now I think when it sort of has a rest over Christmas and New Year, the League Cup in this country, and then you kick it back in again when you're in the middle of the FA Cup run. I just think it's quite a sensible idea to play the trophy, to give players something to play for now, and then they can concentrate on the FA Cup in the Championship after that. And I'd like to see them, seriously, and I mean that, seriously think about it.
Because you start again, as you say, around about February, March, when there is a fixture backlog, the FA Cup started. Some teams, usually, are involved in Europe, so that adds to the congestion. The odd postponed match gets in the way, doesn't it?
Well, that's right, but what I think the League Cup suffers from down here now, and I don't like to see that, because it's a major trophy, is that a lot of the clubs who think they're going to be involved for the Championship, they know they're going to be involved in the FA Cup after January. So I think a lot of them tend to play weekend teams at times and think, well, I'm going to concentrate FA Cup and League because those are our main priorities. And if we go out the League Cup, then I ain't too worried about it. Now, if we were to put that prize up, say, to be completed round about now in November, then that would be a great incentive for all the big clubs, none of them to take it anything but seriously.
Well, Alan Smith was on Dundee, just to be perverse, because Charlie said Aberdeen this afternoon, but not to be for you, Alan. Delighted then, obviously, for Aberdeen, Charlie.
Yes, I think they deserved it. They totally outplayed Dundee today. I thought Dundee worked hard, but never really got going at all. Aberdeen deserved to win quite comfortably.
And that really about the sum total for poor old Dundee, Alan. They did work hard, but they didn't really ever get into the match, did they?
No, they looked like a team a class below, which they were. Obviously, the division separated them, and no, they just didn't have those players to break down the Aberdeen defence. It really was one-way traffic.
And Aberdeen, of course, as we've said, 7 months back, nearly out of the Premier Division in Scotland, were involved in a playoff for their very lives, and here they are with a trophy and a European place. That is a dramatic turnaround in fortunes, isn't it?
Well, that's right, just as Andy's saying there. I mean, to change it in the format and bring it to England, I mean, there's a difference. 7 months ago, Aberdeen were very nearly in the first division in Scotland. Now they're in Europe. Tremendous difference. 7 months.
So how would you best sum up the achievement of Roy Aitken at Aberdeen?
Well, I think they are still struggling a little bit in the league, but they've shown a lot of spirit. Roy Aitken was a very determined character. He was a good leader on the field, and he really, some of the attitudes he had as a player are showing through now in his management, and I think he's done particularly well. He's lifted it up. He's really believed in the players, and as you can see, they're getting the rewards.
And it's a tremendous platform to start from, isn't it, as he continues to try and put things into place
Fantastic.
in the league. Here come the goals. The opener from Billy Dodds, who used to play for Dundee, of course. It owed a lot to Stephen Glass, and also, I think, some eccentric goalkeeping. Would you agree, Andy?
Just a bit, yeah. Ali happened to say that he thought the keeper did well. I thought the keeper did well to make such a mess of it. I mean, this was, although Duncan Shearer does go across the front of him, just as it sits up, I mean, that's a bread and butter ball to deal with, in all honesty, Richard. And from, I mean, his body angle and everything, I don't know what on earth they had in mind. Don't know what he had in mind here. I mean, that looks a bread and butter catch. Get up with it, throw it out, get your team moving.
Having said that, full marks to Dodds for being there.
Well, yeah, it's the type of goal that you expect strikers to score, and I'm not surprised to see him pop up there and tap it in from 5 yards.
We really needed a goal from Dundee in that respect to give us a game, didn't we? Didn't happen. Right at the start of the second half, Duncan Shearer got the second. Again, as a player who used to enjoy scoring goals like that, wasn't a bad finish, was it?
That was a good finish, and that was a killer blow. We talked about Raith Rovers' victory against Charlie's team last year in this competition, Richard. I think the biggest difference between the two is that Raith Rovers scored first, and I think Dundee needed to score first to pay Charlie.
You're spot on, Andy, there. The difference with the tension, you know, and if you go one down, you know that the smaller team's always in control of it. I mean, like Aberdeen scored first, and you've seen the difference. They just dominated the game, and they played at Aberdeen's pace. It suited them. I thought young Stephen Glass had an excellent game, and people like Alan Smith and Andy in the past, they thrive in service like that, and Shearer did that today.
What you want, Alan, in those situations is a ball like that, isn't it? And delivered quickly when you've made that run.
Ball from the byline like that is so hard to defend, the ball coming across the goal. Duncan Shearer, as I predicted actually before the match. Always
amongst, you did get right.
Always amongst the goals, and then you got on the end of that.
That is one you did get right. Dundee with a few opportunities, but here is one that, had they made count, might have just changed the shape of the game as we got into the last 15-20 minutes or so. But Charlie, was this the story of Dundee's day?
I think so. Young Anderson, he's obviously very inexperienced at top level. I think he just got a bit frightened in that situation. I think we all felt here that the ball actually set up nice for him to take it in the inside of his foot, and because the keepers came out in no man's land, and he's really made the forward's mind up just to bend it round him. It was an easy opportunity, and he ended up making it difficult.
Have you been in those situations, Alan, when you go into a big game like that, expected to do well against opposition that you're concerned might frighten you, and the first goal relieves the pressure, as Charlie was saying in that way?
Well, it is important to get that first goal. I mean, from my own point of view at Arsenal, we've been in a few shocks. I mean, we went 1-0 up against Wrexham. We still managed to lose.
Remember that.
So it's not always the case that you go on to win the game, but obviously it helps.
I remember that, blimey, yes, of course. So recently, in many respects, wasn't it?
Talking about cup finals and talking about the importance of if you're an underdog, I remember going into one of the first finals I won with Wolves. We went to play Nottingham Forest in the League Cup final, who'd won the previous 2 competitions. And we were very much the underdogs, and we were very conscious of the fact that we daren't go a goal down. And we played a pretty tight, dull, surviving game, if you like. We managed to nick a goal in the second half, and suddenly, when you do that, you're lifted. You're quicker, you're stronger, you jump more, you jump higher, everything goes for you, whereas we felt as if we'd lost the first goal in the way that Dundee did today, then suddenly you're half a yard slower, you're second to every ball, you're losing out in headers and tackles, and that is the difference, I think, when you get games like that with the big sides against the little ones.
And you needed to jump high to get over those advertising hoardings, didn't you? That was the longest Wembley run he'd ever been on.
Never recovered since that.
No.
Let's just check the match facts, just in case. 2-0 final score. 16 attempts at goal from Aberdeen, 4 on target, that's all from those 16. 9 from Dundee, better in the second half, 4 on target, and 5 corners each. 2 bookings, the 2 in the first half for Descent. But I would expect to see both the action areas and the possession fairly heavily weighted in Aberdeen's favour. 56% of the possession. First half action areas dominated by Aberdeen. And second half as well, no doubt. Yeah. Where now for Dundee? Are you celebrating having got to the final, Charlie? Is that a major blow that you've been beaten?
No, I don't think it's a major blow. I think they've really took a lot of credit out again to the final. They'll be disappointed, sure, but they're in the driving seat in the First Division. They just missed out last year, and they'll really want to make it this year. I mean, a lot of good players there, a lot of good young kids, and I think they'll be round about for the title for the First Division.
That'll be a good race this year, Charlie, won't it, the First Division, when you see Dunfermline, Morton and Dundee United
There's
all
about
within a point.
About 5 all within. I mean, Dundee United are known as the favourites. I've spent a lot of money for a well-known North of Scotland club. I've spent a lot of money.
For a team used to making money from transfer sales, it's actually had to go the other way now, hasn't it, for them?
Well, I don't actually know if they made much money out of Andrew, did they? I think he got most of it, did he not?
They made a pittance out of me, eh? That was a bargain.